Man. Everybody loves dancing on the grave of the Miami Heat. Man, it's like a national pastime. It's like some phenomenon. We lose to the Hawks, dancing on our graves. We barely beat the Bulls, dancing on our graves. Game 2 of the Bucks series blown out, dancing on our graves. We're up 3-2 against the Knicks, dancing on our graves. We lose 3 against the Celtics, dancing on our graves. Game 7, impossible, dancing on our graves. And we persist, and persist, and persist, and prove everyone wrong. Then we get to the finals, lose to the Nuggets. And what happens? Dancing upon our graves. Whew. No faith. No faith. And like I said, for all you Heat fans that are jumping ship, out! Get out! We're in the trenches! Toughen up! I can't wait for Game 2. I can't wait for Game 2! Because you know what? Spo is in some lair, in some cave right now, deep in the Rocky Mountains, cooking up some stew around a cauldron. Cooking up some stew of how to approach Game 2. I hope. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the Denver Nuggets are a very good basketball team. There's a reason they are where they are. ESPN and the whole, sports media establishment, now all of a sudden the Nuggets are like, the best thing since sliced bread. The Nuggets they've been ignored and they've been downplayed and they've been, Jokic has been ignored, and now, oh my God, this Nuggets. And I get it. They're phenomenal. I get it. I've been saying they're great. And what's weird is that, it's the old careful what you wish for thing, because if you would have asked me in October, who do you want to be in the NBA Finals? I would have told you the Nuggets and the Heat. And here we are. And I'm still not scared. All right. First of all, I'd like to begin here. I'd like to begin with a little toot my own horn, a little pat in my old back, and we're going to run it on back to my last video. And what was that I said? What? You guys probably thought I was crazy. What was that I said? What was that I said about Bam Adebayo? Let's run it back real quick, baby. Bam will be fine. Bam will be fine. Mark my words. Bam is fine. Bam will be fine. Don't worry about Bam. So there's my Bam rant. So yeah, I'm super happy for Bam. And look, let me tell you right now, Jimmy will be fine too. Jimmy will be fine too. I don't know what's going on with Jimmy. No one knows what's going on with Jimmy. Only Jimmy knows what's going on with Jimmy. And let me tell you right now, there might be nothing going on with Jimmy. Or it could be, who knows? It could be the ankle still lingering. It could be the fact that he's a human being and they're burnt out from that crazy Celtics series with that crazy ending of Game 6, and then you gotta go back up there and win in Game 7, and that's unbelievably emotionally, physically, mentally exhausting. Then you get 2 days off, then you gotta go to Denver. The altitude is just a reality of the situation. That Game 7 of the Celtics series, I don't think Jimmy gets enough credit for how well he played in that game. He had a great game that game, right? You get 2 days off, and then you have Game 1, and then you have 2 days off. So he might, in his head, be like, I need to just coast this game. I got to be facilitative. Let's see what happens. And we're going to take this information and use these 2 days to make our adjustments and make our corrections, come up with schemes, come up with the right matchups, come up with the right rotations. Then in Game 2 is when things are really, really going to start. I'm not worried about Jimmy. If Jimmy plays like Sunday, how he played on Thursday, then I'll be worried. I still have confidence that Jimmy's going to have a nice game on Sunday, along with the rest of the Miami Heat. So let's talk stats. This was an interesting game as far as stats go, especially for the Heat. About half the team was great, and about half the team struggled. The ones who struggled, Jimmy, only 13 points. 7 rebounds, 7 assists, but 13 points. We're going to need more from Jimmy. I think Jimmy's fine. We talked about Jimmy already. Caleb, 3 points. 1 for 7 from the field. Max, 0 points. 0 for 9 from 3. 0 for 10 from the field. Duncan, 3 points. 1 for 5 from 3. 4 guys that otherwise are huge offensive contributors who were struggling. But on a positive side, Bam, finally, getting into his groove. 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, took 25 field goal attempts, 13 for 25. Gabe, solid game, 19 points, 7 for 14, 5 for 10 from 3. Kyle, solid game, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 for 8, 3 for 6 from 3. And of course, the great Haywood Highsmith, who's in everybody's good graces now. 18 points in 23 minutes. 2 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, 7 for 10 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. I'm happy because we know Max is gonna be okay. We know Caleb will be okay. I think Duncan will be okay. And then the Nuggets, look, I mean, the Nuggets are just a well-oiled machine, and you have, you know, that core group of 4 guys that can just absolutely kill you. And look, there's a reason the Nuggets are where they are. They're a great team. There's a reason they swept the Lakers. There's a reason they finished number 1 in the Western Conference. There's a reason they steamrolled their way through the Western Conference playoffs. Jamal Murray, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 11 for 22. Michael Porter had a double-double. Jokic is just ridiculous. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists. We're 8 for 12 from the field. Ridiculous. Guys hitting 3-pointers. Aaron Gordon, he killed us. So yeah, the Nuggets, you know, the Nuggets played how the Nuggets usually play. The only thing that wasn't going for them was their 3-point shooting, which is kind of scary. They shot 29% from 3. We shot 33%. But most of the game, we really struggled from 3 until the fourth quarter. We weren't out-rebounded. They got 45 rebounds. We had 43. We got a ton of shots off. We got 96 field goal attempts. We took 39 3-pointers. We only had 2 free throws. That's a big problem. What does that mean? Does it mean calls weren't going our way? Not this time, no. It means that we weren't attacking enough offensively, which is and Jimmy talked about that in the post-game interview. They got to attack the basket. And I know that's easier said than done when you're playing against a bunch of, gigantic human beings. Only 8 turnovers. All right, so let's break down the game here. Jimmy started off really nice. Started off 2 for 2 with a quick jumper and a quick 3. I was like, okay, here we go. And then, I don't know, it just wasn't working for him that night. And right away, the Nuggets' size just immediately started hurting us. And I was like, God, if I see Aaron Gordon post up on Gabe Vincent one more time, I'm going to throw my television out the window. A lot of people are kind of floating the idea of, like, where's Kevin Love? Heat Nation was floating, where's he? Let's see some Haywood Highsmith. We got to see some Haywood Highsmith. Look how awesome Haywood Highsmith is doing. Now a lot of people are saying, like, let's see some Kevin Love. Why not? We were getting a ton of good looks. That's what was so heartbreaking about, really this whole game, but even right from the get-go, like, we were getting so many good looks and the shots just were not falling. Who knows why? It just could be an off night. They could be a little nervous. They could be tired with their legs are heavy from the altitude. Their legs might be heavy from a game 7 48 hours ago. Who knows? These guys, you got to remember, these guys are human beings. It's so nice to see Bam back, getting his offensive confidence back and hitting those awesome little mid-range chip shots and all that. I feel like that's going to be there for him all series long. And not only was he hitting those, he was getting a bunch of other people involved too. The Nuggets, they are what they are. You have that core group of those 4 guys to 6 guys, and they are what they are. Whereas us, we're such a unique team where you have so many different possibilities and combinations and matchups and different guys that can step up on any given night. Like I always say about this Heat team, they're an anomaly of a team. They're not your average basketball team. So sometimes you might need that game 1 to just use it as a feeler game. You feel things out, you try some different things. We discovered how great Haywood Highsmith could be, especially him defending Jamal Murray in the second half. A lot of people were really happy with that. Who knows what's going to happen with Tyler Herro coming back. There's a lot of things to consider. We're going to have a way better shooting game. Jimmy's going to be a lot better. Duncan, Max, and Caleb, they're going to be a lot better. So we still have a whole lot of room for potential. Whereas the Nuggets, the only bad thing about them with that game was their 3-point shooting. Other than that, that's kind of the Nuggets that you're always going to get. One nice thing is that we only held them to 104 points. I think that was the second lowest scoring game they had all of the whole playoffs, besides a Lakers game that was like 90-something, 80-something. One thing that's a little discomforting, though, is there were times where I feel like Jokic just wasn't even trying to score for a long time. And when he did feel like scoring, he just scored. There were 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and he hadn't even shot the basketball yet, and we were still down 7. It makes me wonder, and I'm no defensive specialist, but is the best way to tackle this Nuggets team, is it to swarm Jokic and try to like cut the head off the snake? Because he seems to be like the sun, and the rest of the team just kind of orbits around him. So do you try to cut the head off the snake thing, or do you try to force him to be the one to score and put the ball on the ground and be aggressive offensively and try to cut off everybody else around him so he can't be that facilitator? I don't know. That's what we have Spoelstra for. So second quarter starts, we get Haywood, Duncan, Gabe, Kyle, Bam, and a zone. Bam was 7 for 10 in the second quarter, had 14 points. Max just continued to struggle. Cody Zeller also struggled against Jokic. There was one time in the second quarter, Jokic just absolutely steamrolled over Cody Zeller, man. I felt bad for him. One nice thing that I noticed by the second quarter was our transition defense was nice. This is a team, this Nuggets team has a reputation of them killing teams in transition, being pretty fast, liking to run. I really, really liked how we got back on defense. So Max Strus and Caleb Martin were 0 for 12, combined 0 for 12 at halftime. Look, it's hard to win basketball games when two of your really good players are 0 for 12, and then your MVP of the Eastern Conference isn't playing well either. You know, that's kind of what this game comes down to. That, the size. So third quarter comes around. Bam at this point has 20 points in 20 minutes. So happy for him. A 17-point deficit, brought it down to 10, and that's with Strus and Martin still combining for 0 points, plus a pretty non-existent game for Jimmy offensively. There's so much room for improvement still, and it's gonna come. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna come. You're gonna see it in game 2. Mark my words. This is when I knew Jimmy was just not right. Maybe 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Jimmy comes off a pick, dribbling the ball, gets to the foul line area, has the most open shot ever, doesn't take it, dishes it out to Caleb. Caleb drives baseline, dishes it back to Jimmy in the paint. Jimmy has another open shot, doesn't take it again, turns around and kind of throws it to Bam, who's like a couple feet behind him. Bam like catches the ball like this, wasn't expecting it at all, and then Bam gets it, kicks it out to Max, and now by this time the shot clock is running out. Max shoots it. He's already ice cold. He misses it. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what that thing is with Jimmy. Like, is there a method to his madness? Did he just choose to coast this game to preserve himself for the rest of the games? Is he just trying to be facilitative? I don't know what it is. It's a mystery. But, Jimmy, I know you're watching this, Jimmy. We need you, bro. It's time. It's time, Jimmy. Caleb hit his first field goal with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Max still at 0. Max finished with 0. So, you know, poor Max. Feel bad for him. The other obvious thing that everybody's asking is like, where's Tyler Herro? Is he going to come back game 2? He was slated to come back game 3. We definitely could have used his offense. But what is he... You know, is he going to be a liability on defense? How effective is he going to be after not having played for so long? So we started the fourth quarter great. With 4 minutes and 23 seconds left in the fourth quarter, we were winning that quarter 17-8. We were down 10 with 4 minutes. And like, yeah, you could argue that the Nuggets kind of took their foot off the gas, but I mean, did they? I don't know. Did they? Because they still had like their really good guys in. Haywood Highsmith with a huge fourth quarter. And then we closed with Bam, Haywood, Jimmy, Kyle, and Gabe. The Heat set the finals record for fewest free throws in a game. Just an overall weird game. It was a weird game for us. Not a weird game for the Nuggets. Very typical Nuggets style of game with their pretty offense and pretty this and pretty that. But I really feel like they treated it as more of a let's feel it out kind of game. Let's figure it out kind of game. Spo and the gang are going to hopefully go back and make their adjustments and their lineups, their matchups and schemes and all that stuff. But one interesting thing Spo said is that you can do schemes all you want. It's toughness and resolve. That's what's going to win. The Heat need to play Heat basketball. You got to disrupt the Nuggets. You got to be ugly and mean and in the mud. Start a fight. I'm not saying get suspended. Start a little scuffle. Who cares? Start a little scuffle. Get into it. Torment Jokic. Make his life a living hell. Who cares? You got to get in the muck and get in the mud and muddy them up. That's how you're going to beat this team. And you got to hit shots. That helps too. Hitting shots helps too. It helps if Jimmy Butler has a good game. I'm not going to sit here and say that, Heat in 6, Heat in 7. But I absolutely believe that the Heat can make this a series. They absolutely can. But they have to bring it every single night and be on point. And everybody has to play to their full potential. Everyone, including Spo. And if you do that, then you can make this a tough series for the Nuggets and make it a way tougher series than anybody else has. That's what I want to see. I said in the last video, I'm at peace with where we're at and how far we've gotten, but I just would have loved to see the Heat at least make this a series. At least make this a better series than the Timberwolves, the Suns, and the Lakers made it. But what's so hard about this Nuggets team is that I feel like anything you throw at them, another problem arises. Whatever adjustment you try to do, another problem arises with this team. The shooting will be okay. It's more the defense is what I'm concerned about. How do we get stops? The offense will come. What are we going to do on the defensive end? That's what needs to be figured out these next couple days. Do you do something? Do you figure something out with Kevin Love and Haywood? I don't know. That's why I trust in Spo. I'm no defensive specialist. What do I know? You see the name of this channel. Here's a fun fact. How about this? Every time the Heat have won game 1 in the finals, they ended up losing the championship. But every time they've lost game 1, they ended up winning the championship. Did I explain that right? Hopefully I did. Draw fouls. We got to start drawing fouls. We got to get to the foul line. The Nuggets got to the foul line. They shot... how many shots? The Nuggets shot 20 free throws attempt to our 2. They beat us 16-2 in free throws. The Nuggets only made 1 more field goal than us. They have 40. We have 39. But they have 14 more points in free throws than us. We got to get to the free throw line. You got to attack them. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's very easy for me to sit here in a stupid chair and say, yeah, go ahead and attack the Nuggets defense. Go ahead and go drive the ball on those gigantic human beings like Michael Porter Jr., who's 6'10", by the way. Like, it's not even fair. And Aaron Gordon, he's a monster. And then Jokic is a guy's like a Sasquatch. I'm looking forward to see what Spo is going to cook up. I really feel like Spo is going to cook up something interesting. If we're playing to our full potential and Spo is cooking up the right adjustments for this Nuggets team, we can give this team problems. I'm telling you right now, we can give this team some problems. I'm telling you, more so than anybody else has this postseason. And you're going to see it in game 2. So look, in summary, weird game. This even feels like a weird video. In my opinion, I think game 2 is going to really more so be the start of this series. I think this game 1 was more of a feeler. These guys are human beings. They have to be still exhausted from the end of that Boston series. They gotta be. And they're gonna enjoy these 2 days off. Hopefully they get some massages, they get some ice baths, they recover, adjust to the altitude, go for a nice hike maybe. Colorado's very beautiful. And then Sunday, it's on, baby. I'm still not scared of these Nuggets. I'm still not scared of these Nuggets. Now, if game 2 goes terrible, then I'll be a little concerned. But I don't care. I'm in the trenches. I'm ready to die with this team. I'm ride or die.